All right, on this problem 14, it says find the angles between 0 and, and 360 degrees with the same sine as 25 degrees. All right, so if we look at 25 degrees, and again, this is not really 25 degrees. I'm just drawing it where 25 degrees would be in the first quadrant. Because here is 0 and here is 90. And here is 180, 270, and 360. All right? So, we want to have the same sine as 25 degrees. And so notice in the first quadrant where I am right now, the sign is positive. And so what I want to do is I want to know where else is the sign positive. So all students take calculus. So the sign is positive here and here. So my triangle is going to be in the second quadrant because that's the other place where the sign is positive. And again, here's 180 degrees. And my same reference angle is 25 degrees. All right? And so all I'm going to do is notice that going from 180 backwards, see how I'm going backwards 25 degrees, so that means I'm going to go subtract. So 180 minus 25 degrees, 180 degrees minus 25 degrees, so it would be 155 degrees. So this angle would be 155 degrees. All right? And so that's my answer. 155 degrees and 25 degrees have the same sign. And you can check that on your calculator. Because if you go 25 sine, I get 0.4226. And if I do 155 sine, I get 0.4226. It's exactly the same. Okay? All right, now let's look at the cosine of 25 degrees. All right, so looking at the cosine of 25 degrees, again, all students take calculus. Notice that the cosine of 25 degrees is positive because they're all positive in the first quadrant. Now, where else is the cosine positive? In the fourth quadrant. And so I am going to draw this triangle in the fourth quadrant. And again, the same reference angle, 25 degrees. All right? Now remember, this is 0 and 360. So again, I'm going backwards here. And so this would be 360 minus 25 degrees would give me, let's see, that would be 335 degrees. All right? Now, if I wanted to do the tangent, which they don't ask you to do on the homework, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it anyway. Again, we're going to look at all students take calculus. And here's my 25 degrees in the first quadrant. So the tangent is positive here, and the tangent is positive in the third quadrant. And so when I draw this one, I'm going to draw it in the third quadrant. But you see, they're all the same. It just depends what quadrant you're going to. So in this one, again, 25 degrees. And then this is 180. But notice in this case that I'm going from 180 to get to this line, I'm going an additional 25 degrees. So normally we subtract here, but in this case we're adding because we're going the 180. If I want to get all the way to here, I need to go the 180 plus 25. So 180 plus 25 degrees is equal to 205 degrees. So again, notice that the tangent of 25 degrees, 0.466, and the tangent of 205 degrees, 0.466. So they're exactly the same. All right, question number 15. Says, if theta is equal to 11 pi over 6, use reference angles to find the sine, the cosine, and the tangent of 11 pi over 6. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to draw our crosshairs, and here's 0, and here's pi. But we want our denominator to be 6. So I'm going to make this 6 pi and multiply numerator and denominator by 6. And so this would be 6 pi over 6. And then this is 2 pi, so it'll be double that. So this will be 12 pi over 6. All right? So now let's start, and we're going to go counterclockwise in the positive theta direction, positive angle direction, counterclockwise. I'm going to go around, and I'm going to go past 6 pi because I'm going 11 pi over 6. So it'll be past 6 pi over 6, but it's not quite to 12 pi over 6. Now, is 11 closer to 6 or closer to 12? Well, it's closer to 12, and so my angle will be closer to the 12, and so it'll be in the fourth quadrant. So here is 11 pi over 6, and then I'll just subtract. 11 pi over 6, 12, this bigger from the minus the smaller. So 12 pi over 6 minus 11 pi over 6 gives me pi over 6. So here is my reference angle, pi over 6, which is the same as 30 degrees. So the 30-degree angle is the smallest one that we have. So here's 30 degrees, and it's 1, 2 square root of 3. Remember, the 30 is opposite the 1. So this will be 1. So the vertical line is 1, horizontal line is square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2. All right? But we're not in the first quadrant anymore, so something is negative. So starting at my origin, I'm going in the positive x direction, but the negative y direction. So this will be negative. All right? So now looking at the cosine of 11 pi over 6, it will be, I'm sorry, we usually use sine first. I don't know why I wrote down the cosine, but it would be square root of 3 over 2. And then looking at the sine of 11 pi over 6, it would be opposite over hypotenuse, negative 1/2. And looking at the tangent of 11 pi over 6, it would be opposite over adjacent, negative 1 over the square root of 3. And then, of course, if I want to rationalize that, I can. You don't have to. You can leave it like this, but I would multiply numerator and denominator by the square root of 3. So this would be negative square root of 3 over the square root of 9, which is 3. All right? But you can just leave your answer like this for the tangent.